How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Impressions video with Sam and Left Stick Studios. I apologize for the super lateness of this video. You can't hear it so much now, but I was having really bad sinus pressure and congestion, and my voice was just not up to par. It was bad, so this had quite a delay on it. But all's better now, and I'm here to tell you guys about the Battlefront 2 open beta that happened about 2 weekends ago. And honestly, it was torn. There were a lot of things about this game I just could not come to a decision on, and a lot of decisions I couldn't quite get behind. While there were other things that were extremely freaking fun. So stay tuned, I'll tell you guys all about it. So my immediate impression of this game within the first probably 10 seconds of playing was, holy crap, this game is gorgeous. I mean, oh my god, does this game graphically look freaking amazing. At one point I just took a ship straight up in the air and looked straight down, and it just blew me away how good this game looks. I really liked how the first one looked, but this is something they definitely improved on. It was extremely impressive. And then especially going into the ship battles and seeing all the, planet underneath you, the giant freaking space station that you're fighting around, the details in all the ships, the sound effects. It really just took everything the first game did, which was already great in that regard, and just completely, blew it out of proportion. It was a fantastic experience, just to start off with. And then I started playing, and that's when things started to get kind of hairy. They changed the bullet physics that were from the first one, or laser physics, as I called them, I guess. And they were more realistic, per se. It was very close to the same, but it seemed like the distance was increased slightly compared to the first one. As in, the bullets have more travel speed through the air than before. And, of course, the first class that I picked was the sniper class, because that's what I'm more partial towards. And, sweet Jesus, this is probably the worst video game sniper I've ever used in my life, and I've played a lot of shooters. With the heavy class, it takes 3 shots in the face to kill someone. I have footage somewhere, hopefully I can find it and put it on here, of literally, I shot him twice, and he had 10% left and back behind a corner. It was so Battlefield 1. They brought all the sponginess from Battlefield 1 into this game. It was very unfortunate that had to have happened. And then right off the bat, I also realized there's a freaking 10-second respawn timer. 10 seconds. Oh my god. 10 seconds that you have to sit there and wait until you can respawn. Do you know how much that ruins any game? I don't know why Battlefield 4 did it, and it was the worst thing ever. I don't know why they brought that back. Now, the catch is you get deployed in squads of 4. So if you can gather 4 members of your squad, the timer's cut off and you spawn. But why can't I just say screw it and spawn? Why can't you have what Battlefield 1 had? Just let me choose a squad, and then I spawn as part of that squad. It's a design decision that makes no sense to me. It really ruins the flow of the game, just having to sit there and wait. I don't know whose idea this was. You need to stop. And then I started messing around with, other classes. I was really partial to the heavy class. It did a lot of damage, it had a good gun, and it was good for majority of situations. I kind of liked that one. And for majority of my time playing, I used the heavy class. I did mess around with the assault class and the officer class a little bit, but nothing much to really get great opinions on it. I didn't really care for the guns that they used, and for the officer class, it was very much team-based. All of your skills buffed you and your teammates around you. It just wasn't my kind of thing. And the assault class had some good skills to it, but nothing that really stuck out to me, While the heavy class had the minigun that you could whip out at any point in time, which was extremely devastating and really good for, hallways. And then the other class I used a lot was the sniper class, which I have some things to say about that, but I'll put that off for the moment. Now, another problem that immediately stuck out that the game was having was, again, the just plain Battlefield problem of, it takes me 3 years to freaking run from where I spawned to where the action's happening. When you're playing in I don't remember the name of the game mode, I'm sorry, but you're moving the ship to the Citadel or Capital and you're trying to blow it up. That's your goal as the Imperials against the Rebels. once that really starts moving along towards the end of the segment, it takes forever to spawn and run to where the action's happening. And then half the time you get there and you just die immediately. And it's extremely disappointing. And really, top that on top of the 10-second respawn timer, and it was just a nightmare. Now, in Battlefront 2, they did away with the abilities to pick up playing as, the Jedi or any special classes you're getting in ships. They did away with the, coin system that you just kind of pick up, power-ups, whatever. Instead, they opted for a point-based system. So, they kind of work like, Call of Duty's kill streaks. God, I hate making that comparison. Where you rack up amount of points doing actions, defending the objective, playing the objective, killing people, etc. And once you have enough points, you can kind of buy what you want to be. So you can play as Darth Maul, or you can play as Rey, or Han, or whatever. But they also inserted other special classes along with the ships and the heroes. So there's, the higher tech robotics classes, the bigger robots that you see. Unfortunately, I can't pull any names of them off the top of my head right now. And for the Rebels, you get one of the higher squadron leaders of the clone army, and you get a Wookiee warrior who, every time you highlight him, looks like he sneezed. Now, after playing a couple matches like this and feeling really disappointed, I decided to move on and go into the ship combat that's placed in this as well. And to be perfectly honest, I freaking love it. I was a huge fan of the ship combat in the first game, and they improved it in every single possible way. I turned off a setting in the menu so that I could have more control over my ship, and it felt so fluid, it felt great. They changed it from having to have that weird lock-on system from the first one to having a circle at everyone that you aim at, and that's kind of where you want to aim in order to, adjust for how far away they are and such like that. It sounds gimmicky and helpful, but there's still a skill base to it. It's not just a lock-on like it was before. And even with the missiles, they're no longer guarantees. I spent a lot of time just kind of spinning in circles, avoiding the living crap out of missiles, because they can be avoided this time. It's a pain, but they can be avoided. So the ship combat is just it was fun. After all the disappointment of playing before, I was having a blast, and I loved it. But, of course, after a while, I had to go back. I hadn't gotten footage quite yet at that point. I went back, played the original game mode more. The beta got extended for an extra day, so I got to have more time with it, even though I was working all weekend. And I started playing more with the Specialist class, which is the one that has the sniper. And I discovered something kind of interesting that no one had taken advantage of yet. And I made sure to get a full clip of footage of that. And that is the Specialist special skill. So each class has three skills in total. 2 skills are basic stuff, for example, the Specialist has X-ray goggles that can mark enemies, and a shock ion grenade. And the Heavy class has a regular grenade and a shield that you can activate. And then each class you hit L1 and R1, I played on PlayStation, and you activate a special skill. So for Heavy class, it was the minigun. For the Officer class, it was a buff that buffed you and your teammates around you. I can't remember what it was for the Assault class right now, but for the Specialist, what it does is it makes you invisible to enemy scanners, and you whip out this little mid-range machine gun. Now, I didn't think anything of it when I first tried it. I was concentrating more. I'm like, well, I'm the sniper class. I'm going to use the sniper. But it turned out I started messing with this thing, and that is probably the best freaking weapon in the game. I started getting footage of this shit. Now, if you look at it, I might not be able to match footage up to what I'm saying, but I was able to sneak up behind heroes, and if you get behind a hero, it kills them hard. Now, it has a timer on it, but every kill you get resets the timer. Plus, the gun does not overheat, and it's burst fire. So you can just go around corners, and if you come up behind a group of enemies, you can kill them all before they even notice. Now, it starts to get a little useless once you start getting into, larger ranges. It's only good at short to medium range. But it's kind of overpowered. Like, it takes them a minute to even notice you, and 2 quick shots to the head, they're dead. It's kind of insane, kind of broken, and probably the best. It's even better than the assault class and the heavy class. It's just super good. Plus, you have a sniper, so you can just, like, shoot people from a distance. It's broken, I swear. And once I started realizing this and playing more, I started to realize this game's actually really fun. It has a lot of problems to it in its execution with, you know, the long wait times, the long time to run to matches, the stupid, like, squad system that's kind of useless, the snipers, complete garbage. The list goes on. But once it gets into the later part of the one game type, it gets into really close combat because the enemy wants to capture the throne room while the allies want to, you know, kill them and not let them capture the throne room. And all spawns are just outside this room. So it becomes really freaking crazy, especially once getting the heroes mixed up in there. And at that point, it gets really, really fun. Like, no one would I think it was a unanimously decided thing that no one would destroy the MTT, the giant tank, because they wanted to play that later part, because that's the part where the game's actually fun. And it was playing this and doing this a lot, I started to realize, you know, this game's not as bad as my first impression. It kind of left some, like, hard spots. It's still got its problems and whatnot, but when it comes down to it and it comes down to close quarters combat, it's actually a blast, and I enjoyed myself a lot. And I couldn't understand why they couldn't focus on that more. Now, granted, it's just a beta. It's just, you know, there were 3 maps if you include the ships. And it wasn't a lot of content, but it was super fun when it was fun. But it was super sucky when it was sucky. So I can't really give you a fair judgment on this game and how it is, because I'm so torn right down the middle. When I wasn't having fun, I wasn't having fun. But when I was having fun, I was having a lot of freaking fun. The heroes are really fun. Rey is really good. Han is really good. Han's blaster is improved. 2 shots from Han's blaster is dead, period. Boba Fett was great. It's just, there's so many improvements that they made that were so needed and so awesome. But then they changed things that didn't need to be changed. So if I might not get this game at release, if I end up with some extra money in my pocket, sure. Of course, there's other games like Evil Within and other crap that coming out that I need to get. But if I had to recommend this game, if they go in the direction of fun, if they continue working off that stuff that worked out, I think the game will be great upon release. If they don't, it's not going to be good. It's going to be Battlefield 4 all over again, only it actually has good graphics, you know? So, judge it by yourself. If you're going to buy it, you know what? I say buy it. If you already have it pre-ordered, yeah, stick with it, whatever. And just, it's such a toss-up. It'll be interesting once it releases, and we'll have to see how it is. Anyway, that's my impressions of the Battlefront 2 beta. It was everything and nothing. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you at least got something out of this little rant here. And if you're interested, like, comment, subscribe. There'll be more content. I promise it'll happen eventually. I've got a new job. I'm getting over this cold. It's just, there's a lot going on in, you know, the real world right now. So please, I appreciate your patience. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Laters.